Hello, my name is Zone. Today I'll be doing a channel update type video where I give you the look ahead to what I'm planning on reading for the month of May, and also a little sneak peek, I guess, to a long-term thing I kind of want to do with this channel, because I've been having not like a motivational issue with this channel, but it's just like I'm running out of ideas that I have ideas, but they just don't really sound like I really want to do them, and I don't want to, I'm not a YouTuber. Right, so I'm not gonna force 2 videos a week if I don't have an idea. So then I thought of an idea that not only I think would be interesting to document and post on my channel, but also something that I would genuinely want to do. I kind of did that with the War and Peace 1 chapter a day thing, and I was really enjoying it. But what happened was I missed a single day, and something in my brain didn't like that. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. You missed a day. You already ruined it. Might as well just skip a week. And then, you get caught in the cycle where it's just you just never do it again. So now I just randomly read 3 chapters, when I'm in the mood for it. Still probably take me the same amount of time as if I read 1 chapter a day, but that War and Peace experiment thing, I failed it. Even though I do think it's interesting to read that book super slow. And I guess I am continuing to read it slow, just not the way that I originally presented it. Regardless, that's a tangent though. And also, I'm not even talking about my next thing. I'll get into that later. Anyway, but for what I'm reading for the month of May, the first thing I'm reading is Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. I said in my last review of the 2nd book that this might be my new favorite trilogy without even reading the 3rd book. I'm 25% into the final book of the trilogy, and it's definitely looking that way. Fitz might be one of my favorite fantasy characters of all time. This trilogy, it's just scratching all the right itches for me. And I love Fitz, I love this world, and I love the story. It's so good. Why did nobody tell me? Or why wasn't I listening? That's the deeper question that I should be asking. But I'm going to finish that in the next 10 days or so. And also a quick side rant too. I had that on my Kindle, on the Libby. I read all the trilogy on the Libby. But I've been caught in a deadly Libby cycle recently where I do the 21 days rental period. And the last month, 2 months or so, I was reading 2 books at the same time on Libby with the time limit. And I don't have as much time in this period of my life to read a bunch, and I felt pressure. This time limit was pressuring me, and it made me feel this is almost a chore, because I'm this happened especially when I was reading Essex Dogs. I waited a really long time to get that book, so I didn't want it to expire on me, and I already started reading it. I don't like not finishing books, but it wasn't it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't gripping me, but my time was running out, so I had to read 30% of the book in 2 days, and I'm oh, I don't want to be doing this. This isn't fun. So I got Jade City, which I've been waiting almost 3 months for. And then I had to give it back. Because I'm I don't want to rush this book. I don't want to have to finish it in a certain amount of time. Even though 21 days, I could usually finish any length book within reason. I don't want to force it. So after Assassin's Quest, I'm going to take a step back from Libby. I already have some physical books. Some of them are stacked right there. And I want to read those in the meantime. But that's just I don't know. Let me know if you guys have felt with library books, the time limit. Because if it's physical copies, you could probably just recheck it out, renew the thing. But digital copies are so hard to get, at least the library that I use on Libby. It's very frustrating. Anyway, so after I finish Assassin's Quest, I'm going to go back to the Voidwalker Chronicles, Derek Bailey's book that he sent me. I know you said that I don't have to rush. I'm not rushing. It's also just been 3 months since you sent it to me. And I do genuinely want to finish it, because I am enjoying it. But this Libby cycle got me going. I think I'm 60% done, 2/3 of the way done. So I'll definitely be finished. I know I said this 2 months ago. I'll definitely be finished in the month of May. You could promise that, and you could expect a review, because I want to share my thoughts. And I love talking about indie authors and the great stuff that they're all putting out. The next book I'm going to read, this one is, I kind of talked about in my Essex Dogs video. It's The War of the Roses by Dan Jones. It's the same author. Because I just found this book just browsing the history section of Barnes & Noble, and it caught my eye, and I didn't even know it was the same author of Essex Dogs. So I'm excited to get into this nonfiction history book. I'm sure it's going to be great. Heard only great things about his nonfiction, so I'm super excited to get into that. And this other one's a weird one. I actually bought it in the middle of March. Obviously, I didn't get time to get to it yet, but it's called Tell Them of Battles, Kings, and Elephants by Matthias Enard. And it's about Michelangelo, a young Michelangelo. And it's I think it's a historical fiction. It's a fictionalization of, I don't even know what it's about. invited by the Sultan of Constantinople to design a bridge over the Golden Horn. It's like a really short book, like less than 100 pages. I really have no idea what this is about. I saw the cover. I'm like, that's stunning. And like it was like a little bookstore in Portland, Maine, where they do like our book workers recommend, or like they don't call them book workers, but like it was like one of like the employee recommended section, and like this stood out, and it looked so fascinating to me. This might be a sleeper hit. Let me know if you've heard of this book. Tell Them of Battles, Kings, and Elephants. But I'm excited to read it. It's very short. So those are the books that I definitely plan on finishing. That's 4 books. It's a lot for me in these day and ages. 4 books in 1 month. Hey, slow down there, Speed Racer. But I think I could do it, especially because this book's like literally a piece of paper, which I've never read a book that short, I don't think. Less than 100 pages? That's pretty crazy. I feel a little insane right now, in case you couldn't tell. However, I also want to talk about the thing I want to do beyond May. So starting June 1st, I'm going to be doing a reread of every Malazan book. I know like about a year ago from today, I posted my first Malazan. I think it wasn't a year ago today. It was like in June. I posted like my Malazan series review. And I'm like, I'm going to do a reread real soon. It's been over a year since I finished The Crippled God. And I read Night of Knives since then, but I've been itching to do a reread. And I think I want to do like a more in-depth reread of the series. And June 1st, I'm giving myself a date. That's when I'm going to start doing it. It's not going to be the only videos on my channel talking about Malazan and my reread experience. Because I'm going to try to read at least 3 books a month from here on out without stressing myself out. Because, sometimes you got to set goals. Sometimes you got to pull back from those goals if they're making you a little bit stressed. But I'll get a good mix in there. That'll be like my primary fantasy series. I'll maybe read like one other fantasy series potentially, and then try to throw in like a nonfiction there, or like a romance, or like a, like a Du Maurier book or something like that, just to mix it up. Because you don't want to kill yourself on one genre. And I'm still reading a lot of fantasy. I'm always reading a lot of fantasy. But at least it's a reread of fantasy, so it's a little bit different. I'll probably make a more dedicated video of what I want to hit in the Malazan reread series. Or I don't even know if it's a series, but it's like the videos I'll be making about those things. So be on the lookout for that video. But just thought, like, if you guys are interested in Malazan content, let me know. And also, if you haven't read it, but you like fantasy, it might be a good opportunity for you to get into it, because I'll be going like book by book over like a very long period of time, because I'm not gonna, these are long books, they're over 1,000 pages each. That's just the main 10 I'm gonna be reading. It's a lot, but if you want to get into it, now's a good time, because it's kind of like a book club thing, It's like, hey, this guy's reading it, I guess I'll read it too, and then I'll be like, this is why he's dumb, because that's not what happened, or this is not, like, he's such a moron, and then we could all laugh at me. Anyway, that's something you could look forward to, or you could skip. I don't know. What do I know these days? That's what I'm reading for the month of May, potentially. Because, I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say my last looking ahead video, I kind of lied, but I didn't really lie. I did some things I said I was going to do, just not all the things. There's nothing wrong with that. That's all I got, guys. Thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate it. If you made it this long and you're still listening to me, good for you, honestly. Goodbye.